As any realtor knows, you can have your day perfectly planned. All it takes is one phone call and the whole day is shot.
Welcome to Outside the Box, where we talk about actionable strategies to help you increase your repeat, referral, and sphere of influence business. I'm Chad Armbruster, CEO of BizBox, and this is Justin Armbruster, my son.
Today we have Marci Press joining us all the way from Central Ohio. Marci's been helping buyers and sellers in the Ohio area since 2004 and has sold over 1,000 homes in her career. Marci, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Marci, tell us, how did you get into the real estate business?
It actually is a very crazy story. I'd love to share it with you. I was single mom of 3 boys, and my then boyfriend said, I was working full-time as a legal secretary, and my then boyfriend said, you know what, you're so good with people, you should get into sales. Sales? What am I going to sell? I mean, makeup, jewelry, hair products, all that fun stuff. And he said, no. If you're going to sell something big, like houses. Never, ever, ever in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought of being a realtor. So kudos and credit to him. I started attending real estate school at night and on weekends, took 6 months to go through my classes and took the test and got licensed.
That's great. So what did you do before that?
I'll leave out all the gory details, but in my previous life, I was married. I was an at-home mother, stay-at-home mom. And like I said, to my 3 sons. And when I divorced my husband, I had to re-enter the workforce. So I was a legal secretary.
Any correlation, legal secretary working in the law world to real estate? Is that helpful?
Oh, man, it comes in so handy. On top of that, my older brother is a real estate attorney. And in my same city, Columbus, Ohio. So I drive him crazy, as do the realtors in the company I own, Home Central Realty.
Nice.
So being in the business 21 years, I'm assuming at this point you're working pretty much off of sphere of influence, repeat and referral business. Is that right?
You know, it's so interesting. There's all different ways to do this profession, certainly. I have a team. I have handpicked currently 4 individuals from my company to be buyer's agents on my team. 2 of those 4 actually do listings as well. If I were a solo agent, I would likely be 100% repeat business and referral based, but because I love to feed my team members, I do purchase leads in addition to repeat business and referrals.
Nice.
So what's the one habit or routine that kind of helps you stay in front of your sphere of influence?
You know what? I will go into this letting you know that I'm a bit old school. It doesn't mean I'm not open to learning, and it doesn't mean I'm not open to change. I am a firm believer that there are just some basics, i.e. picking up the phone, calling people, talking. You know, you have to know your clientele. You have to know how they're most likely going to want to communicate with you. I don't think it's ever a bad thing to call people on my sphere of influence and say, just checking in, want to make sure everything's okay. How's your house? How are the kids? Et cetera, et cetera. It is genuine, and I do care, which is actually a huge difference rather than just being strictly transactional.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know if you have any younger people on your team, but it's so overlooked. Talking on the phone for the younger generation, it's hard. And it's a skill that even, when I got into the business, I had to learn how to talk on the phone. People are so afraid to pick up the phone and call. And I mean, like you just said, that's the key to some of your business is just calling.
I literally have, if I'm in a competitive situation for a listing, let's say, and I'm competing with other realtors in Columbus, oftentimes when I win that listing, they will say your communication, the fact that you actually picked up the phone and called us. Not everybody wants to just be texted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it something that you you have a plan for, you have habits of, or is it just spur of the moment? You pick up the call, you pick up the phone, you call, friends and family or people in your sphere of influence? Is there a discipline to it, or is it just fly by the seat of your pants?
Yes. I'll say yes to both. I think that in our perfect worlds, there is a plan to it. I have attended seminars, I've talked to coaches, I'm aware of time blocking, and all of those beautiful things that we try like hell to put into place. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. As any realtor knows, you can have your day perfectly planned, and all it takes is one phone call, one situation, oh my gosh, I have a fire I have to put out. Oh, wow, a new listing. Let me come now, and the day goes just, it's shot. So the reason I say yes to both of your questions, I go into every day, literally 7 days a week, with an intention and a plan in place. Whether or not I get to complete that in its entirety is a very different question.
Yeah, that is very relatable. That sums up my morning, basically.
I get it. I so get it. Like, we can all have the best intentions and hope we land somewhere between I did nothing and I accomplished everything in my day by the time you go to sleep at night. As
a single mom, when you first got into the business, that had to have been, I would think, difficult as far as getting into sales and real estate, especially the first however many months or years or whatever.
Oh, yes. Next to impossible. I worked my full-time job for 1 year after I got my license. And when it got to the point, this is true. When it got to the point where the phone was ringing, I was literally running to the bathroom to talk to a real estate client when I was supposed to be preparing, complaints or addendums or something legal. I knew it was time to take the leap of faith, and I did so, and I never, ever looked back.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That's a huge testament to you. That is not, the failure rate in our industry is so high. And oftentimes it's more of not that someone couldn't hack it, but just situationally, maybe it didn't work out that, financially or situationally they couldn't make it. And you are the 1% who overcame some of those. That's super awesome.
Thank you. I feel very lucky, and I'm also stubborn. So if I was going to do it, I was going to do it the best way possible, and I wasn't going to stop till I reached my goals.
Love that.
That's perfect. So what are some of the common mistakes that you see realtors making now when they're trying to kind of grow their business in the beginning?
It's so interesting. As I said, and just for the record, because I do think this is important, that gentleman that I was dating who suggested real estate school went on to become my husband. And then after I divorced him, there is a reason I'm telling you this. We bought a real estate brokerage together while we were going through a divorce, and he's my business partner to this day. Just a side note.
Okay, well, that's good.
People come in our lives for all different reasons, right?
Yeah.
So we own this real estate brokerage. We have approximately 43 agents. I've seen so many, successful, unsuccessful. This one has this idea, and this one's going to door knock, and this one's going to wrap their car, and this one's going to do this and that. I think, respectfully, that people lose sight of the fact that there are still, regardless of how you do it, there are some basics that you can't ignore. And that means picking up the phone. That means letting every single solitary person know you're an agent. You've got to really practice those basics. Even, I don't care if you do Facebook ads or online marketing or postcards, open houses, wrap your car, you price this house, whatever it is, you can do so as long as you continue to do the basics as well.
Yeah, I like what you said, and it was one of the many things, but you said just let everybody know that you're an agent. I think new agents are so afraid of telling people that they're in the business, coming across as salesy, and I might even have mentioned this on this show before, but if you're not telling people you're a realtor, no one is. I mean, there's no one who's going to be a bigger advocate for yourself than yourself.
Well, 100%. And the other thing is, I can literally take my car in for servicing. They get my mailings. Marci, hey, hi, how's the market? The market's amazing. That's how the market is. It's amazing. So, yeah, every single person from the person who cuts your hair to the person who services your car to the UPS delivery person. And if it's done tactfully, it isn't salesy. It's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
We run Facebook ads and stuff like that for, BizBox. And someone posted on there this week saying that they didn't like, I said that they were a real estate agent and they didn't like it when realtors basically were constantly advertising themselves and this and that. They said, trust me, you people know that you're in real estate. And I was just thinking that completely flies in the face of reality because there's so many real estate agents and they could do business with any number of people. You've got to stay in front of them. So that just didn't make sense to me at all. But
And you know what? I 100% agree with you. And even if people know you're an agent, in Central Ohio, we have either close to or just over 10,000 realtors. Even if they know you're a realtor, it doesn't mean they're going to use you, which is such a blow to the gut. When that happens, you drive down your street and you see one of your neighbors has a for sale sign with a competitor in the front yard. You feel like you just got, sucker punched. But I can tell you this, they're certainly not going to use you if they don't know you're a realtor. And the goal is that when, let's say, realtor, the topic, the subject comes up, you need to be people's, who comes to their mind instantly.
Yeah,
that's your goal.
It's so funny. When I first got into the business, my line of thought was people just need to know I'm a realtor. And then after a couple years, I realized people need to know I'm a realtor and they need to know, and trust me more than the other three they know.
100%.
And that's part of staying in flow, staying in front of them. Absolutely.
It's really, 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 as if the profession itself isn't challenging enough, your competition and helping people to understand that you are the expert, or at least help them think that you're the expert. It adds a whole additional layer to the profession itself.
Yeah. Sure. So is there anything unique that you do to kind of generate referrals or stay in front of your sphere of influence? Before we dive into that, the Outside the Box podcast is all about building repeat and referral business, because smart realtors know that serving their clients is the secret sauce.
At BizBox, we think your marketing should serve your clients too. BizBox branded moving boxes are the ultimate service in promotion. Printed on 2 sides, locked with essential supplies, and delivered straight to your clients, BizBoxes are lasting branding that keeps you top of mind long after the move.
BizBox fits every budget. With packages starting at just 5 boxes and free design setup, you can visit bizboxinc.com, click free setup, and create memorable marketing in just minutes.
Stand out with BizBox while your competitors end up in the trash. Now, back to the show.
We are very consistent in our marketing. We are very consistent. When I say we, I'm referring to my team, Marci Press and Pros. We're very consistent in our outreach to our, I don't want to say past clients, people with whom we've worked previously, with people that we are looking forward to working with. And that consistency, and again, very challenging depending upon the day of the week.
And that's just reality sometimes. I mean, I think a lot of agents will listen to this show and, we can hopefully provide some good ideas and, some insights to what top producers like yourself are doing. But at the end of the day, there is a reality that, what's unique about what Marci Press does is she picks up the phone and calls. Honestly. There's not a lot of agents that can say they do that.
What's funny is, and I mean this with complete respect, really, but there are members on my team currently, or certainly over the years, that when I've talked about, farming an area and sending postcards or calendars or Ohio State Buckeye schedules, they kind of roll their eyes like, oh, that's so not what we do anymore. I think something very important to realize, here's some words of wisdom. You have to do it all. Okay. So I'm on, I have someone who does social media for me. I'm not going to do it. It's certainly not my area of expertise. And that's another point. But yeah, I'm on Instagram and Facebook and Zillow, realtor.com, LinkedIn, all of it. But I'm also sending postcards because not everybody is online. And I have gotten many listings over the almost 21 years where someone will say, someone maybe more in my age group, I received your postcard in the mail. I saw you sold the house up the street. I'd like to meet with you. Maybe they're not on Instagram. So I think that's important too, regardless of how many years you have in the business or your age in particular, that you are kind of putting efforts out on all of these mediums.
Well, I will say I am on Facebook and Instagram, and I've seen your Wednesday Wisdoms.
Yep. Wisdom Wednesday.
Yep. So
thank you.
You're killing it.
Be sure to like it.
I will.
Something about algorithms. I don't know.
Yep. But, it's funny, just a little bit on the social media part. I mean, it's amazing how, you even said it, be sure to like it, how, that's a part of it, but you probably didn't even know I've seen them. And there's a lot of people who maybe won't like posts, but are still active consumers in your content, your postcards. And so just because someone doesn't call or like doesn't mean it's not working.
Right. 100%. And I'm so appreciative of that. And now that we've met, you can like it moving forward.
Yep, exactly.
So when you talk about mailings and stuff, do you mainly do those for farming, or do you also do that to your sphere of influence?
It really depends. Oh, definitely. Most definitely. Like the saying, you can run, but you can't hide. That's kind of how my sphere of influence feels about me. No, I'm kidding. But no, I do, depending upon the piece I'm sending out, determines who is the recipient of that piece. So, I'll do a postcard to people with whom I've worked over the years, basically requesting referrals. I will do, my neighborhood. I take the back page out of a quarterly mailing for a local publication called 614. It goes to where I live. There is a method to the madness. It really just depends on the piece and who I'm trying to attract, if you will.
So you segment your database, and you might send one mailing to different parts of it, and then another completely to a different section. Am I correct in my understanding?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, my sphere of influence literally is everyone I know.
Yeah.
So, what's appropriate for someone with whom I've never worked before may be different. Let me rephrase that. For someone with whom I've yet to work, but look forward to working with, or someone that, I assisted them last year in selling their home. Different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you, when trying to stay in front of your sphere of influence, is it exclusively this type of one-on-one, whether it's mailings or phone calls, or do you also do like any sort of group experience or a group thing to try to get in front of multiple ones at one time?
I should. I hate that word should. I should have a client appreciation event. I should do this. I should. And I have yet to do that.
So it's more
I
individual.
am really, 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 really lucky in that. I get a ton of referrals and a ton of repeat business. Some of that is, obviously, if my team and I didn't do an outstanding job, it wouldn't happen, regardless of how long I've been a realtor. So I know that we do great work, but a lot of business comes from that simply by the outreach I am currently doing.
Yeah, I was if you make your calls like you say you do and how you do, you're disciplined in that regard. You don't need client appreciation events necessarily if you're disciplined in staying in touch with them on the one-on-ones. There's just a lot of people like me who aren't. And so sometimes the client events are easier, but when you're knocking it out of the park like you are, sometimes you're not missing anything.
Well, I appreciate that so much. And like everyone, I can do better. I think we can all always improve. In my perfect world, I'm doing the client appreciation events too.
So if you had to start over today, what would be your top priority for building a strong network of repeat and referral business? Is there anything you tell your team or when they're starting out?
I think you always want to over deliver. And if you tell someone you're going to do something, can you please just do it? And not only can you just do it, but can you do it better than anyone else can do it? And I think it's very easy to be mediocre in any profession, actually. And if you literally will just do what you say you're going to do and do everything you can to be better than the next guy, you'd be amazed how far over your competition you'll stand.
Marci, you strike me as someone whose clients just love you. And I bet you have some good referral success stories.
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say I have one like specific story that is just mind blowing. No, not that I can repeat. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't really. I don't really have one to share. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No problem.
That's fine.
I remember when we were coming up with some of these questions, he asked me what my story was, and I was like, I don't know. They're all great. Any referral's a great story. You just, take them all.
Well, it's interesting. I'll talk about my business partner yet again. He is our broker of our company, okay? And he's very data-driven, and, you have a question, you want to call him. And his name is Doug Turlow. He does a great job. And he often jokes and says, when we both got licensed in 2004, we did open houses all the time. You have to realize Zillow came out in 2004 when we got licensed. There was no Zillow. And he would say that he would hold an open house and could barely get anybody to sign in on the paper. And he would say, this isn't me talking, but I am repeating his story. Marci would hold an open house, and before the person walked out the door, they were hugging. So, there's something about making a connection with people where it isn't just transactional. No one wants to feel like, a realtor's looking at them and seeing a dollar sign on their forehead. I mean, I can absolutely tell you that my team and I genuinely care about the people with whom we're working. Like, everybody's got a story. And that's something that's really cool about being a realtor. Like, we get to meet and help so many different people in different life situations. I mean, how cool is that? That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So, Marci, we end with just a few rapid fire questions that Justin has here.
First thing that comes to your mind, we're going to fire away when you're ready.
I'm scared. Okay.
Zillow, realtor.com, or homes.com. Which do you recommend for clients to use when looking for homes?
Zillow.
Zillow. Why is that?
We've just had tremendous success with Zillow, and it seems to be very user-friendly and constantly changing and evolving and upgrading to meet today's consumers' needs.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Office or home office?
I'm an office girl. There is something really comfortable for me about coming to the office. When I'm home, I absolutely have a home office and work when I'm not throwing in a load of laundry or, running the dishwasher.
Yeah.
I don't like the distraction.
You took the words out of my mouth. I can't work from home. Too distracting for me.
Really? That's funny.
Instagram or Facebook?
I think Facebook is probably fading out and Instagram perseveres.
Love it. Podcast or book?
Ooh, for what purpose?
Whatever purpose you want to take it as.
Oh, I like books.
There we go.
But I listen to podcasts daily.
Okay. Do you have a most influential coach or mentor or someone you listen to for real estate?
No, I don't.
That's okay. What's the most impactful book you've read?
Oh, geez. For purposes of real estate?
Yeah.
Or life in general. I really try hard not to read books about real estate because I live, breathe, eat, drink, and sleep it. And I like to read and listen to podcasts for enjoyment. And it's an escape from what I do 24 hours a day.
That is a really good answer. And you actually put some words to my thoughts. I find myself not wanting to read, especially before bed, not reading real estate books because it just keeps me up and, something fiction, will put me to sleep, which is what I need.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but I don't watch any TV, just FYI. And so often people will say to me, whether it's clients or colleagues, well, you've seen on, Real Estate Beverly Hills or New York or whatever. And I'm like, actually, I haven't. That's my life. I really don't need to watch it.
Actually, I haven't. I actively avoid watching those things.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What's the most underrated app that you have in your phone, either for personal or business?
Underrated app. I can't answer that question.
That's okay.
I don't know.
Skip. Finally, if a listener wanted to refer a client to you and get in touch with you, what local areas do you serve and what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Great. Thank you so much. Central Ohio, literally all of Central Ohio. You can call me, text me, or email me, and I would love to be of service to help.
Perfect. Awesome. Marci, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
It was awesome. So fun. Thank you both.
No problem.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.